All right, gang. It's 6:08 here. Um, One of the challenges of trading on the Pacific time zone is markets open at 6:30 in the morning. It's not 9:30 on the East Coast where you get your kids to school, you get up, you shower, you work out, you eat breakfast. I barely roll out of bed, and that's something I need to work on for my morning routine is getting up earlier and getting settled before markets. But that's part of the streams too, is to get my butt out of bed. I have been trading a lot from bed in the early hours or the early minutes, and it's just not good. So here I am, dedicated for the new year. Not quite the new year, but I'm getting ready. I wanted to talk about the markets here, my general kind of sentiment. And I talked about this on Twitter real quick, but like the way I see it, at least for the next few weeks, hopefully few, through the end of the year, which this week, next week, etc. We had a lot of kind of tailwinds for higher prices. Yeah, CPI came in lower. Say what you want about how it was recorded and all this and that. But my counter to that would be, oil is just so cheap right now, and that is going to be. I'm looking for the crude oil futures. That is going to be a major tailwind for prices. Or I should say, CPI in general, inflation in general, right? Um, so we've got lower CPI, lower oil. We had this kind of scare about the AI narrative, infrastructure spending, all that stuff, and some of that was put to rest with the the MU earnings. The other week, last week, they blew it out. So that's still there, but it's not as scary, I think, as people were making out to be. I think that's still going to be a narrative that we need to pay attention to. But we've got big IPOs coming next year: OpenAI, SpaceX, Databricks, maybe Stripe. So a lot of these are coming, and I think that's just going to keep things exciting for people. And then seasonality. Obviously, we've got the Santa Claus rally coming up here. Supposedly, starts Wednesday. I saw something from forget who it was, but apparently 77% of the time we have a rally in these last 5 trading days. So we're not there yet. It's starting Wednesday. Last two years it hasn't come, but we've never had 3 years in a row that it hasn't happened. So I don't know. I don't put a lot of stock into that, but the reality is seasonality is strong right now. So something to pay attention to as a tailwind as well. And then we have stimulus checks coming from my brain's not quite there yet, but to I think veterans or something, people in the forces, and Trump pushing for lower rates. So we have all of these things, right? Stack. It's just really hard to be bearish in this environment, in my opinion. At least in the short term, that could all change in a few weeks, in a few days. I don't know. And then when we look at the technicals, we'll start with QQQ here. You guys know, if you watched my last video from last night, that I am big on moving averages. And let me strip out the 10 and 20 right now because they just kind of make it a little bit noisy. We got through the 50 and the 100-day moving averages on QQQ Friday with Friday's close. Very strong close. Now, I want to see the 50, the green one, curl up and get back over the 100. That hasn't happened yet, obviously, but it's looking promising, right? And while we're talking about QQQ, let me go to futures. I've been sharing this chart quite a bit on Twitter. The whole point, and I'll take all the moving averages out here just so you guys can better see what I'm talking about. I hate this background that they do sometimes. This point here, this 25,869, is important. It was support, resistance, boom, 4 times, and then we dropped right down here, found a new kind of support line. Ping pong, whoop, tricked them, resistance, dip, and push, right? I would expect that we have some kind of pause up there before a likely breakout, and then pushing to new all-time highs. So it's kind of aligns with what I was saying in my video last night, that I have all these long positions on right now, and I would like to take some off. I'm looking to put something on today. CSIQ, hopefully we will take that trade. If it pulls back here, I'll talk about that in a second. But if we get up here and kind of start stalling, it might be a good place to take some profits, just raise some cash in case we do get another dip, and can buy some names that we like, right? So I'm watching the futures chart. Of course, we could just push right through this and keep going. We'll see. But I'm encouraged that we are putting some distance between current price in this 25,400 kind of area, right? So constructive on technicals, constructive on narratives, tailwinds, etc. I don't see a reason to be trying to short this market. And this is S&P 500 now. And let me throw the moving averages back on so you can see what I'm talking about. SMA 2. Perfect, right? We've regained the 50. We have everything purely aligned, as I say. The 50, the 100, the 200, they're all stacked. It's different than QQQ, right? Remember, QQQ has not... Oh, no, we're on the daily. Never mind, I was on the 4 hour before. So QQQ is also purely aligned. So we're good to go. See, it is morning. I'm waking up. SPY looks great. Small caps look, very strong. These are all-time highs that we pushed through here. So everything's constructive. Again, don't see a reason to be short this market, right? Before we go, we've got 16 minutes yet till the market opens. I wanted to talk about, we're trying to connect. Shoot, I wanted to talk about Bitcoin because we did get some movement in overnight session with Bitcoin following futures. Okay, so if you watched last night's video, you know my views on Bitcoin and my current trade on IBIT. But what we've seen, and I'm bullish right now in the midterm for a mean reversion play. What we're seeing now is very constructive. Like the 15 has rolled up. We're getting those moving averages this way on the camera. Moving averages purely aligned, right? The 1 hour has now started to make the turn. The 200-hour moving average has not quite rolled up and started making higher highs yet, but it's there. It's close, and it should. And then the 4 hour is pushing through the 200, and this level specifically, this 90K, was support, resistance. We just kept getting smacked last week every time we got near there. So the fact that we had a 4 hour candle close above 90K, very encouraging. I'd like to see next, as I talked about last night, kind of getting through this 90, 95 zone and maybe up to the 100K zone. So that's what I'm seeing right now. It's encouraging for Bitcoin in terms of what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to pause this video and come back and show you what I'm doing in real time. In a minute, we will connect to that in a moment. That's my broker wanting to connect. And this is my short list of ideas. I really like CSIQ right now is my top idea. And I'm trying not to add a ton of exposure today unless I'm taking a fair amount off. But CSIQ is one that I'll be looking to hopefully buy some of this if we see, it's gapping up pre-market. If it comes back down here, below 25-ish, I'll probably start nibbling on this. Let's see, $25 a share. We probably want, at least a few thousand shares to get started. So I'll be looking to do that as the market's open. I'm going to pause right now. I'll be right back. And we are going to look at the open as things happen. All right, guys. So the market is about to open here. I am stalking CSIQ for kind of the open, and I'd like to get about 5,000 shares. I don't want to be frantically trying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some orders in. I always just click this just in case it goes up. In case this dips. So I'm going to try to snag 1,000 at 25. I'm going to try another 1,000. Let's call 2480. See where that puts us on the chart. Well, that's way low. Oh, no, that's good. 2480. Let's go 2470. In case it dips there, there's another 1,000. And order following 1,000. Yeah, that's fine. And then let's do, just in case, 2440. And then that leaves me 2,000 more to fill as the market's flopping around, if I even get these, right? I have a cough drop in. My kids have been sick, and it's like that time of year, and I haven't gotten sick, but like a throat thing. It's really annoying. Okay, so those are in for now. Again, we want to get like 5,000 shares if you can. And if you see me looking down during trading, I trade two accounts, and one's a corporate account, and it's a pain to log in and on back and forth. So I just kind of do it on my phone. So I'm entering the same kind of orders here. Actually, I'm just gonna let this sit, and I'm not as strict about that count. It's about 80% of the size of what I'm trading here. But I'll just enter that if we start getting filled. I'm looking for more. So 2 more minutes. Let's check on Bitcoin. It's chilling, right? It's chilling above the 90K mark, which is great. I like to keep an eye on NASDAQ futures. Looking strong. Very, very strong. I hate those backgrounds. I'm talking about these. I hate the shading here. I know it's deep in the settings somewhere. I like always forget where it is. Yeah, electronic trading hours and just kill that opacity. There we go. I don't want it showing. Close this for now. All right. And then like we're just basically what I do in the morning is I see, what's moving, what might hit a profit target early or take some off. IBIT's great. It's gapping up as expected, obviously. App is probably my closest to hitting a target. My target is still 751, so I don't know. Unless it gets rolling today, that's not going to hit. ALB, okay, it's opening. Everything's opening, so that's great. I don't know that anything is really close to hitting profit targets. I want to look at my Reddit because in last night's video, this is one I said, I screwed up on this one. I should just start taking some of this off. It doesn't look amazing, in terms of would I buy it here? Would I buy it now? The answer is probably not. There's better stuff out there. Let's get to CSIQ. What's happening there? Ah, man. Yeah, see, this is, it might just get away from me. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's up 7%. So this is a trade I wanted to take on Friday. I mean, this was so obvious to me in here. The 15-minute was rolling up. We've had several attempts at this key level, 25.50, call it. And, it's breaking out today. So I'm probably not getting involved unless this comes shooting back or this gap starts to kind of close. I might get involved here. But this is the game, guys. Some of these are just going to get away from you, and you have to be okay. Like, I'm not chasing here. There's no way. It doesn't make sense for me and what I do. I don't think it makes sense for anybody to chase ever. mRNA is another one I like. It has started to make this beautiful, beautiful turn on the daily, right? The 200 has not started turning up yet, so we're not quite there. I'm giving this a little bit more time, hoping that, we see a little bit of a pullback to maybe 30. So this is on my short list. Amazon, it's just been a slow mover, and we're just going through my short list right now, right? It's been a slow mover. Yeah, it's on my list because it's trying to make this turn here, but I just don't feel like it's quite ready yet. I had some short puts last week that I've been holding for a few weeks, and those expired worthless, or last Friday. But beyond that, this is one of those days where if you were not positioned going into today, you're going to have a very hard time. You're going to feel FOMO because everything's gapping up, right? Qs are gapped up. Just look at this gap on Qs, right? And if you weren't positioned already, you're going to feel a huge temptation to chase. And that's just something that you need to fight and ignore and just work on that discipline and I do it too, right? Sometimes you just badly want to feel like you're involved. And it's not going to be me, not today. Let's take a look at SoFi real quick. Talked about it last night, I think. Trying to make the turn on the 15, which would be phenomenal. The only problem I have with it is not above the 50-day yet, which is not a deal breaker. So I call this a daily neutral trend. But this just looks so kind of potentially ugly up here, right? you've got this kind of, where's this keep drawing? You've got this kind of like almost diamond top looking potential. And so I'm not sure. I mean, it could be interesting from so I just had my keep drawing tool on and it just healed. Okay, it could be interesting from a lower time frame perspective. Yeah, if this consolidates a little bit, but right now I'm not touching it. Oh, BM&R selling off. Yeah, this is looking good though. Overall, it gapped up strong. It's above 32, which is what we talked about last night. We want to see. So I'm just kind of riding this for now. I'm going to go through my positions real quick and just see where we're at. IBIT gapping up nicely. I'm probably by the end of the day, and I can do a video on this, probably going to move the stop loss up and just tighten up that towards the end of the day. We'll see where we're at. Tesla. I see a lot of talk about people trying to short this, but I just don't get the logic. We are at all-time highs. And a lot of new traders, I think, are hesitant to buy things when they're trading at new all-time highs. It's the complete opposite. You want to be buying here because there is no overhead resistance. We are in price discovery mode, right? And this trend's been phenomenal. This is a multi-year breakout. So unfortunately, I only have 400 shares, but I'm going to just keep riding this up, hopefully as much as possible. I think I talked about this in last night's video. As this closes, my goal is to get the stop back above my profit target. We already had a trade on Tesla or took partials, so we've got 9,200 booked. I say we, it's me. 9,200 booked profits already, so we're just gonna keep cranking this up probably towards the end of the day. App can't get going yet today. We'll see how it finishes, but I would love this target to hit hopefully this week. Palantir up a little bit. I said I'd like to take some off towards 200. So why don't we just put that order in now, like slightly below 200. Let's take like 500 off. Is it gonna pull it up for me? Let's say 500 shares at like 198.95. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Sell, limit, take profit, smart, right? This is just, I'm saying click outside regular trading. So if it happens in outside of regular trading hours, it'll still trigger the order and send. Okay. So maybe we'll take that off today, which would be nice. Free up some capital. LB, monster, man. This is one I wish I'd stayed involved when I initially covered this stock. Back here, I took profits too early. I've kind of changed my views on exits and trails and stuff like that. So since then, so I'm hoping I'm going to catch a lot more of these moves in the future. But I did get re-involved here, obviously, again. So we're just trailing. We're just trailing. I want to see this 20-day EMA kind of get up a little bit higher. That said, I mean, this move has been so aggressive. It is kind of overextended. I hate that, but it is really peeling away from these moving averages. That said, as we said in last night's video, I'd love to see it up towards 170. So I'm trying to give it the space to do that, the breathing room. Don't want to choke off the trade. NXT, I'd like to see this one get flying. It's getting close there. If we can break above and get above this resistance like I talked about last night, we'll be rolling. But no changes right now there. Roku, would love to see this get going up to 2%. Twilio, gapping up. Everything's gapping up today, guys. It's the same across the board. CSIQ, what a beast. Reddit, still not going like I want it to. I'm still sitting on this. Man, this Reddit played with me so bad back here. This was July, and it just kept like messing with me. And then I ended up getting out of my position and before earnings, and then just ripped on earnings. I don't like to hold through earnings. It's always a gamble unless I have like a cushion, 5 to 10% cushion. So that was it's just I didn't get involved again. But the stock for me just has like this kind of notorious for just a lot of fake outs before the actual move. So we'll let it kind of simmer for now. Lemonade, same thing, has been really jittery up here. I'd like to just see it break out and go, but not much happening today. ISRG, and then we're getting towards the lower end of the list where things are not moving as much. I sort these by Jumia. Still trying to get going. So, kind of a boring day to start for me or for us. Merck is down. This is the thing. My average on Merck is $100.12, and for some reason it's not displaying correctly here. Don't know why. So this is actually looking good today. And then NTR is this is the ag play. Still resting that order. Probably not going to get filled unless, I don't know, I'll just leave it. You never know. But I wouldn't be upset if this just keep ripping. And I just noticed my stop loss is off on this. So we're going to update that quantity to 4548. Confirm. All right, so we're safe there. But not much going on, guys. Not much going on. I'm going to pause again. And below this, I'll do a video on this, but these are my trades. This is my short list, my ideas that I generate the night before, the day before. And this is my watch list. It's massive. It's like 200 stocks. So I go through this a couple times during the day. I go through this at the end of the day, and I look for setups. And I'm working on a tool. It takes me, it's tedious. So I'm working on a tool to help me do that much faster that I'm excited about. So I'm going to pause here for now. I don't want to get this too long and boring, but basically everything's gapping out. No FOMO. Don't get involved in something unless it meets your criteria, and just wait. There's always going to be another trade. So if you're feeling like you missed the boat today, don't. It'll come back, or things will settle down and there'll be other setups. So I'm going to pause. We'll come back, talk some more, and we'll see how things are going. Seeing it. You won't notice the difference because I'll be like back in 2 seconds, but time will change. See ya. All right, guys, what's up? I mean, it's not much later than when I just kind of pause things, but my wife did bring in my morning matcha for me. She's awesome. And I noticed that Palantir is getting close. It got so close, and this happens all the time. So close to our profit target that we put in a bit ago, and I'm hoping that hits here. I'll just kind of show you guys what that looks like, what it sounds like. You get a little alert and stuff. Not a huge deal, but things are kind of settling in for the day, right? And given that it's a holiday week, and I just don't expect like huge swings. Volume's going to be dropping off here if it hasn't already today. It's people getting ready for Christmas. So Bitcoin's been giving us a little test of the 90K mark, and so far it's holding. I like to see that. If you didn't watch last night's video, I am not like a Bitcoin fanboy. I did not expect this thing to be making me rich. I've been tinkering with crypto since 2013. I should have gotten rich from it, but I did not, right? So here we are. And BM&R kind of disappointing so far today, but still holding that 32 level. I like to see that, and that's kind of all. If we can get a daily close above 32, that would be great. Really hoping Palantir would peel off. And something I'll show you guys while we're chilling in here is this is a manual kind of, I call it like my risk dashboard. I really wish brokers would provide a tool like this internally. So basically what I'm trying to show is the columns that are most important to me are my current stop loss and what would happen if all of those stops got triggered. And I kind of color code this to know where my most danger kind of zones are and my total risk, everything reversed, like everything. I'm looking at a 280K drawdown from current equity net liquidation levels, which would really suck, right? And that's kind of why I want to either lighten up positions today and tomorrow, or tighten up stops to lower this risk. And that's why I'm hesitant right now to put on anything new, which is great because things are gapping up right now, and there's not a lot of opportunity for me to be adding new stuff. Anyway, so we can clearly see IBIT and Reddit are my two worst kind of danger spots. We're going to tighten up that stop on IBIT hopefully today. Excuse me, Reddit, I think I could probably tighten the stop and reduce the position, and then go to work on these orange ones, Twilio, NTR, and those are the worst. And then everything else is below 12. Palantir would be great if we could hit that and lighten that up. So this is kind of what I look at, and unfortunately a lot of this is manual entry. Not a lot of it, some of it. I usually put, if I do a new trade, I'll put the symbol, put the shares, obviously the entry, and then the current price is just Google Finance pulling an equation there. I'll put my stop loss in, and the reason I have two columns here is, if I move, I like to know where my original stop loss was, and then if I move it, this is doing the calc based on what the current stop loss is, and then this, the first target profit, is simply 2x my initial risk, right? So it's subtracting, I'll just click it for you. It is subtracting my entry and the delta between my entry and my stop loss, and multiplying it by 2 and adding that to the current price. It's spitting me out. That's where the 751.43 came on app. If it's even in view, yeah, 751.43. So it just makes me easy for me to know where that first target is. And once that hits, I delete it and we trail the rest. So you can see that ALAB, ALB, Jumia, Lemonade, Tesla, Twilio are all being trailed right now. So it means I banked something on those trades, right? And that's just, I look at this several times a day. My goal is to understand when this gets too high, and start working it down, because again, it's all about risk control, guys. I know everyone wants to be a hero and make a killing on one trade and go all in on 0 DTE options. No, I'd rather do some other stupid stuff that it's just not a good way to trade. It's not a good way. You're not going to make a living. You're not going to make money doing that, at least not the long term. Tesla looking perky, man. Looks great. BMNR coming back, Bitcoin, I should just say, coming back almost to the highs, which means Bitcoin's probably, and I know I keep referencing Bitcoin on an Ethereum treasury company. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy while we're at it here. But that's moving well today. It's on my list, only 2%. See, MicroStrategy's been such a dog that even when you think it should be outperforming, it's not. And I've been very, very, very vocal. I have a YouTube video from, 6 months ago, telling people to get the F out of MicroStrategy, basically. And it was, up here somewhere. Or up here, I don't know. I should have shorted this thing so much harder than I did. But I called this, the abyss, and we're below that. And you would expect a 240 retest at some point. But I would still rather be playing. MicroStrategy's gotten so much, like Bitmine is kind of like the new kid on the block. It's getting like sexier. Or I just rather pure play Bitcoin or ETH at this point than MSTR, because I just feel like, I don't know, it's gotten a lot of bad kind of publicity lately, and I just feel like it's people are tired of it. They're tired of losing money on it. I don't know if that completely makes sense. Who's there? Hey, not right now, buddy. Okay. No, they look good. They look great. Yes, right now. Okay.
Is the speaker on?
Yes, but go on.
Oh
go
yeah, I want to be in it.
Can you close the door? Thank you. It's my 7-year-old. He is something. Have kids, guys. It's worth it. All right. Where are we at? Palantir still hasn't hit. This happens a lot. Or you're just like waiting, and it's just teasing you. It happens to my stops too. It's not just my targets. I've had stops like my app stop. Where was it? Barely survived last week. Oh, I moved it up, but it was like down here, and it had come within like pennies, I think, of getting stopped. So it happens. Don't think there's a conspiracy out there for you to not get filled on your targets or they're hunting your stops. It's the market, guys. So again, not a ton happening yet. If you weren't involved, you weren't involved. And it's not to say there's not trades out there. CSIQ is still 9%. I like to look at what's down lately. China has been so bad. You guys, I was super bullish on the Chinese narrative, and it just got torched. I had a good run on like Baba, but if you look at KWeb, the whole structure's broken. It's broken. And this is key. You see, from last night's video, I was showing you guys a lot of these bases and these breakouts. It's completely failed. And it is super important. Let's follow Baba. It's super important to realize when the tide has turned, on just momentum or thematic plays, etc., and move on. You move on. This is a beautiful move, and I caught a lot of it. I held on too long though, and I was like, "Oh, Bob was gonna make me rich." It's not. It had a moment in time, and maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't. Baidu's been performing slightly better. It looks constructive at least, but these names just have not been able to get traction. And I wish I had just admitted that earlier and moved on sooner than I did. I lost some money, gave some back, definitely kind of thinking that the next wave was upon us. And it just hasn't been good. Tilray is on my list. It's just been a lot of headlines around it. I was trading it back here September, but I haven't touched it really. It's just kind of something I'm hanging on. Rivian. I'm interested to keep an eye on this. Yeah, I have a video from 6 or 7 months ago when we were in here and trying to break out of this structure I like, and unfortunately it's caught a lot of retail attention, and I think it's I don't know, it's not for me. It's too jittery, right? It just makes it hard to define a risk level, and you just get whipsawed out. So I try to avoid stuff that looks like this. I'd rather have these nice, smoother kind of uptrends. Like you take something like, Iran or something, just this beautiful, breakout eventually, instead of, so much back and forth whipsaw action. Like this is a very highly volatile stock, but it trades more predictably in a way than something like Rivian has, in my opinion. That might sound confusing, but in my mind, it makes sense. Sedge, Solar's probably doing great today. Yeah, Solar looks great. We just missed CSIQ. That's all. I should have been Friday. I just didn't have the capacity. That's the thing. You can't nail every trade. So I'm gonna kill these orders, because if it comes back at this point, it might not be good. Just comes completely reversing. Like GCT did on Friday. It's like, well, why did that? You get that nasty. I guess it was Thursday, right? Nasty candle. And now it's giving more back. So if CSIQ were to come back, I'm not sure I would want to buy necessarily. Now, if it pulls back, like have this move today, 2650, that would be interesting. Give me, not even that. Give me somewhere in here. Give me some compression, some consolidation, and then maybe get involved. So, still waiting on Palantir, guys. Might not get it. Might get it. I'll boot up later again if it gets close and we can see that happen. But right now, Bitmine leading the way for us, which is great. Which means Bitcoin's going. Which means our IBIT obviously is going. So give me some more breathing room on that. That's the goal today, is to bump that stop up. And if I bump it up $1, that takes 10K off my potential loss risk, which is still not where I need it to be, but it's closer. So that's where we're at for now. All right, guys, we are back real quick again. 7:21. Excuse me. It has been a slow day, or it's just a typical holiday day. But CSIQ has come down, so we're gonna nab like 1,000 shares to start. 26. Hopefully, except I don't know why it's saying this. All right, so we've got that in. Hopefully, we get it here. It's definitely come off a fair bit. We were up like 9%, and I'm not afraid to buy it being up 6%. We knew this breakout was coming. I would have liked to be involved, obviously, before it happened. But the breakout zone should hold as support. You would think, you'd hope that's how trades are supposed to work. And we can easily put our stop in this zone 24.50, 24.80, somewhere in there. So let's try to get filled first. I'll throw another one in here just to, what do we want to do? Like 25, let's do a 25.80 as well. And I'm going to put those, like I said before, I'm going to put those same orders into my other account, CSIQ. I need a better process for this. I really need to consolidate is what I need to do. But this is a corporate account, 26. Good for the day. And 25.80. Good for the day. We'll see if we get filled here. So what's happened is markets have come down a little bit, and I think there's going to be a lot of this kind of push and pull. Bitcoin's coming down a bit. Tesla's come down off, I should say. This is a different kind of chart. We'll go back to here. Tesla's come off a bit, But again, it's nothing to be concerned with. It's just we gapped up, we're coming back, we're refilling probably the gap. Yep, refilled the gap. Well, I don't know. Technically, we gapped up from this close on Monday, but we pulled back, and great entry if you're trading. Like if I was adding here, I could be adding here. If I wasn't so already full on other inventory, I would be potentially adding here, right? This is a great kind of roll up consolidation on the 15-minute. You can either put your stop real close under this zone for 480, or if this is an initial position that you expect to go much higher, you can get under the 200 period moving average. But I'm not adding right now. I'm good with what I've got. We're probably going to be moving the stop up by the end of the day. We'll see how we close, and I'll share that as it comes. Reddit was looking good. See, this thing is always kind of just head faking me. ALV came off, the highs. Everything's kind of come off the highs, and we're kind of sitting. Of course, CSIQ. Watch, I don't get filled now. Whatever. I'm not super motivated to take on new inventory right now. Anyway, so if I don't get my fills, I don't get my fills. We'll see what happens. Bitcoin, okay, good. I just want to see it close above 90K today. I don't want to get greedy. I want to get nuts. I'd be happy with that. Slow progress. I feel like we're gonna have slow progress and then kind of push quickly. Hopefully, maybe we go back to the old days. Throw back to the old days and like over Christmas where there's like no liquidity and it just squeezes higher. I don't know, wishful thinking, but it looks constructive. Everything looks constructive. So still not doing a whole lot. I was just mucking around with my kids. I got my drink for the morning. I already had my matcha. This is like different stuff. We'll talk about it later. This thing's gonna get away from me. It'll be amazing. Yeah. We could do something here where we just kind of like, come back and seesaw back down, whipsaw through these levels. I should take another one right here if it comes through there. Let's do that. And I don't have to think about it. We either get it or we don't. Why is this not coming through? 25, 60, let's call it 60. So that would put me, if I got filled on all three of these, that would put me on an average of 25 to 80, which is great. And then I still have 2,000 more that I would like to fill in. So we'll see what happens, but just not an exciting day. Sorry, there's not a lot of action. Usually in the mornings, let's see, let me share. Let me find it first. Yes. Usually in the mornings, what I'm doing is pulling through my trades. You can see this is for the month of December. This is my profit factor. Not great. Usually I like to be above 2, but it's been a tough month, you guys. And TradesViz counts these weird, strangely. If I take partial profits, I'll show you. Usually I'm pulling through last night's data and looking at my stats and reviewing things. Not right now, sweetie, okay? Please, not right now. I'll be on in a minute.
I was just thinking, after you are done with this, do you want to get some shoes on and shoot hoops?
Sure, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Can you close the door, please?
Okay.
Thanks.
How much minutes?
Give me like 5 minutes. All right. Thank you. This is trading as a dad at home. It can be distracting, but it's also amazing, and it's why I love to swing trade, because I don't have to be hyper focused all day, every day. And today's a slower day anyway, so it doesn't matter. But so I'm gonna go shoot hoops in a minute. As I was saying though, I usually pull in my data from last night, like trades and stuff. I already did it this weekend, so I don't have a lot to share here. And I'll start doing that in the mornings and reviewing kind of, what closed, what didn't, where the stats are for the month and things like that. And just showing you my process, because I think it's super important that people to see what traders are doing and not just, hype and talk and things that are, overdone online and doesn't paint a real picture. So still nothing really happening. I'm gonna shut it off, go shoot hoops, walk my dog. You can hear the basketballs going outside already. And we'll check in later. Thanks, guys. All right, gang, we are about 17 minutes out from the close right now. It's 12:43 Pacific time. Close at 1, which means I get to, finish up my day, hang out with my kids, all that fun stuff once they get home from school. They're not in school this week, but, normal day. What I'm going to do now is show you kind of my end of day process. I go through each of my trades, I look at my risk dashboard, I move stops, where I think I can, and try to kind of de-risk a little bit. Today has been really weird. It's the first day all month that I haven't taken profit on something or taken a loss on something. Like no orders have triggered. So it's been kind of a boring, slow day. And I think the biggest disappointment here has been the CSIQ trade that I completely botched. I ended up getting 476 shares. Whoop-de-doo. Of those resting orders I had. And I think part of that is, I'm doing this new stream. It's not stream, but video stuff, and I'm kind of distracted today, but it's okay. There's a learning curve here, so I'm going to start alphabetically, because that's how I have this spreadsheet, my risk dashboard spreadsheet, and I'm just going to see where I can de-risk, where it makes sense to get things stops moved up and stuff. ALB, I'm not going to touch. It was kind of and I'll run through these each today real quick. It's kind of disappointing today. We did talk about this morning. I said it feels a little overextended, so it kind of puked back. The whole market kind of did this, right? Where we gapped up and we kind of just fizzled down the rest of the day. And I think, it's probably where we're going to see some of that, especially with, it's a holiday week. We're just going to have low volume, and it's going to be kind of back and forth. So I'm not super disappointed. I mean, the stop is in. We're going to ride that. I'm actually, never mind. I decided earlier that I was going to move this up. I want to get inside this gap. And even though we're going to be well above the 10 and 20, let's put it at like 141, I guess 141.15. And that puts us at here. 141.15 is our current. So that de-risks quite a lot, right? We were looking at maybe a $3,800, give back if it all went south on us at this point. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with potentially giving that back to potentially have this continue to run. It's always a balancing act. So moving on to app 11. This one looks pretty good yet. Not the greatest looking daily candle, but it's hard to make decisions on one candle. That's really, really nasty. And so what I'm going to do here is just nothing. The stop is in profit. We haven't taken any off. This is in a fantastic trend, so I'm going to trust the trend. I'm close here to having the 20-day exponential moving average kind of encompass my stop here, hopefully in the next few days. So I think we're just gonna hang out here. BMNR, kind of a disappointment today, to be honest. Bitcoin also a disappointment. So we can look at Bitcoin real quick as well. It's trying to bounce, right? It gave up all of this move again, and there's just a lot of this push and pull. Like, I am staying patient. I'll talk about this. IBIT. I'm in IBIT right now. I'll stay patient with these. As long as we're making these kind of higher lows barely and higher highs. This very small sample size. We are still above the 200-hour moving average. We are losing some of this structure though on the lower time frames, And if you think about it, we're trying to make the turn to the downside on the 15, but it's also very, very choppy. So I'm just going to give it more time. Let it marinate and see where we end up. Same thing with BMNR. I'm leaving my stop where it is. If I give back the rest of this 5K, so be it. That was the plan from the start. So no change to that game plan. CSIQ, our attempted solar play of the day. Didn't go so well. Like I said, we only got 476 shares. I have this stop in down here. We're risking almost nothing on this trade. $1,600. And part of me wants to delete this just to not have the mental bandwidth being taken, or on this trade and just having it off the books. But we'll leave it since it's the first one we've taken on the stream here. So no change there. I'm going to leave the orders just in case we get some weird gap down tomorrow, and we can grab some. IBIT, the plan. Yeah, I am going to move this stop up just because it's taking quite a long time to play out. So let's get it up to 48.23. It's not going to make a huge difference, but something. 48.23 is another dollar. So 10K. So de-risks us actually quite a bit, which is good. Which is what I want to do. This was, if you remember this morning, this was at like 280, and this does includes unrealized gain. So I think I was up unrealized P&L like 60 or 70K this morning. So a lot of it was that, right? And that's why we're essentially lower now because we've given some of that back throughout the day. I would pull it up down here with this, but then I have to edit out my account number, and I don't want to do that. But I think we're up at like 30K right now, but we haven't banked any, which is the problem. And it always feels good to bank something, but we're staying patient. IDXX, no change. We've talked about this last night. It's not looking great. We wanted it to roll up. I knew I was front running that. We'll just see how it plays out. ISRG, actually a great day. Not a lot of volume, but there's not a lot of volume on anything today. But trying to get out of this range. I think we need another day of strength to feel confident moving up the stop. Let's see where we are on that. ISRG. Yeah, we're still in the yellow territory. Yellow means between 10 and 15K at risk. So I'm fine with that, letting it sit. Jumia. Yeah, not a bad day. I guess we could tighten this up a bit, and I'm gonna do that. The idea here is to ride the 10 and 20. And if you look back on this, we only kind of touched the 10 and 20 here before this big run. The 20 in particular served as a great trail until almost the top, right? So I am quite a good distance yet from the 20, so we're gonna get it right, kind of, let's call it $12. 12, I'm gonna make it 12 exactly, because why not? Keeps it easy to remember. Yes, come back. All right. That's locked. Okay, cool. We are updated the spreadsheet now. 1209? I don't know. Oh, that's the EMA is at 1209. $12 now puts us at 10,200. Almost down into the light green, all right, like lemonade. So lemonade, we're probably not going to make a change. We'll give this some more time. The 20-day is right there with our stop, so let it keep kind of doing its thing. Merck had a great day today, man. And it's funny, like the boomer stock is doing well, right? And remember, my actual position, and I don't know why, I signed in Interactive Brokers on the dashboard on the internet portal, and they have all my entries where they're supposed to be, but my I don't know, they still show it as 102.91. So this was doing really well for us. So we're in at 112 cents. So we're up, what, $4.50 on 3,000 shares. That's 13.5. I should definitely be moving the stop up a bit at this point. So let's get it to right below the previous days. We're at 99, 95, 99, 95 on Merck. Yeah, that's going to help a lot. Current stop, 99. 95. Okay, see, gets us back in the yellow. And the goal here always, let's get this number lower. Let's get it lower and lower and lower. I'd like to get it down to like 180, 150, maybe this week. And then that allows me to be more aggressive next time we have some great setups. NTR. Would be good to de-risk this if we can. Yeah, we definitely can. And I've been hesitant to bring the stop up because of this crazy day, which is where I entered. Just a really, really big wick. So I'm going to bring it up just below that wick for now and give this more time and just make sure we have enough distance between that and making some higher highs. If we haven't hit the target, the first target yet, which would take 50% off, right? That's right up here. So I'm always hesitant to move these stops up too aggressively. I don't want to choke this trade off. I want to give it enough room to breathe and do its thing and hopefully go higher without getting so close that we get whipsawed out and we're like, wow, why did we move our stop? And it ends up going back to our target. And had we not moved the stop, we wouldn't have got stopped up. Right? It's always just being logical here. So I want to stay under that wick for now. 59.14. That puts us at 59.14 gets us down to 15.5. All right, almost under the. Oh, we just had a price update, so we saw things move. NXT is our next one. Nice move today, but like everything else, it couldn't quite hold. Bummer, but it still looks good. Where was our risk on this? We're at 19.220. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. No, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to see what tomorrow brings. I'd like a stronger close. I'd like a close out of this range. If you look at this, it's like, get us out of this zone. We're not there yet. So you could actually bring this back to this wick here on November 12th. We're not there yet. I'm going to let it breathe. That was the original plan. So I'm not going to, like I said, I don't want to choke these things off too early. Palantir, oh man, remember when we put our order in to try to sell something at 198.95? The high, you can see up here, the high was 198.88, so 7 cents. We missed it by 7 cents. It's okay. It's the name of the game. The de-risking plan for Palantir was to take 500 shares off, right? So that would, if we had done that, we'd be at 11.4. And that's kind of the idea. You have the two levers. You have the stop loss or you have taking some off. So I'm going to let it sit. I hope Palantir is looking, perky right now. So that's encouraging into the close. We've got 5 minutes. And if you were trading this or adding, you could add right here. You see the 10 is kind of curling up, breaking out from that 20. And if you wanted to get super aggressive with a stop, right here, like look at how small of a risk you could be taking right here. Stop at like 192.30, call it, and we're at 194. What's that? It's $1.70. And your reward could easily be to these new highs. I mean, I can't imagine we go back up here and don't take out my target. So let's let that sit. Reddit, again, we talked about this morning, just teases me, and I really should just cut bait on this here soon, but I haven't yet. So we're gonna give it more time, but this is one that I should be de-risking. I need to de-risk. It's 23.6. It was higher this morning because Reddit was higher this morning. So we're gonna let that one sit a bit, which makes no sense, right? I should just take it off. Roku had a good morning, but I gave a lot of that back. If you look at the daily here, yeah, gross candle. So I'm just sitting on it. Our first target here is not until way up like 125. And what are we risking on Roku still? It's only 12. We're only 12K risk here. So I'm very comfortable hanging on to that, especially we're under the 20 EMA and 10. Just giving it some more time. Give it time. Tesla, this is one we definitely can start getting aggressive moving up, I think. I added to this. Let's put it right. Let's put it right there. 457. 457, 41. 457, 41. Huh? That's interesting. That's weird. I had it in there. That was my stop already. I don't remember doing it. But I didn't move it, obviously. So let's see. Yeah, 457. We'll call it 41. We'll adjust the spreadsheet here. 457, 41. So we're still 12K risk there, which I don't love, but it's in a great trend. And I would have liked to see a stronger close today. It's a better looking candle. Same with Twilio. All this stuff kind of, you can see a pattern here. Everything kind of gave back today. Look at Bitcoin, what's it doing? Still trying to move up. NASDAQ futures, trying to move up a little bit. Definitely a pop and fizzle today was kind of the theme. Twilio, I'm not doing anything with the stop. I'd like to see this 20-day get higher here, catch up to price. What's our risk? 19-ish. I think the play is going to be if/when Twilio runs up further towards 150, maybe like 148. We can peel some off, maybe 1,000 off, and that would, greatly de-risk things. And so last but not least, we have Zoom, and the market's closing in 2 minutes. Zoom is the same thing. Where's the 10 and 20? It hasn't hit that first target yet, so I don't want to get too aggressive with the stop moving. I'd like to break out of these highs, and I think if it breaks out of these recent highs, this in particular was the earnings gap high, and let's get out of that ceiling. Hit that target, takes off 1,500. I had added another. I initially had 3,000. We added another 1,000, so the 1,500 comes off, and then we'll play with the other portion and see how things go. So that's kind of it. I didn't take any other trades. I looked at SoFi for a minute. Didn't obtain. Oh, this looks good. Oh, shoot. This looks good. Let me check the 5-minute. Yeah, we're rolling up and we're right into the close. So let's grab. I was going to do 4,000. Let's just go to market on this. Yeah. Let's see if we can. God, that's loud. See if we can get that in tomorrow. How much time do we have left? I'm going to get this on my other account real quick. SoFi. Oh man, I'm going to be too slow. Go. I think we got it. Nope. All right, I'll get that in after hours on the other account. Stop's going to go here under the lows, and we're going to see what happens tomorrow with that. So yeah, that was a quick decision. But that's the whole point of having a watch list, is that you can make quick decisions when you see things perking up like that. So we'll see if that runs tomorrow. If not, we're risking, here, I'll just add it to the spreadsheet now. 4,000 shares. Let's see, SoFi. That's the thing. We're not putting on a ton of risk here. It's about 100K. 27.35, I think, or 36. 27.36. Call it 27.36. Current price. There. Original stop. We're gonna say is we're gonna get the stop in. Let's get it right here under the 200. Period 26. Let's call it just 27. 27, and we'll copy these down, and that'll put our, wow, is that really just our entire risk is $1,400? Yeah. Oh, because we're on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's a pretty tight stop, which I don't hate it, guys. It's and we'll have to pick a target. So I'll pick a target, find a target based on this. Usually it's like I do 2x the risk, but like 2x that risk is just nothing. There's no point. So I'll look at something that makes sense from a technical perspective. Maybe this gap, 2880 or something. That's only $1.50 on 4 or 6K. So yeah, it's not a big trade. But that's kind of the point right now. We're stretched on inventory and trying not to get too crazy here. So we did work this number down from like 280 this morning to 238. Granted, some of that was just lost open P&L, but we tightened things up, and that's the name of the game. There's no red right now. We're close on Reddit, and hopefully tomorrow we can peel some stuff off and free up some inventory, and have a little more dry powder for potential opportunities. So that's it for today, guys. Let me know if this was helpful, what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, etc. This is very early days for me, and I'm just trying to figure out a good cadence and share content that you guys want to see. So thanks, and see you tomorrow.